Hi, welcome everyone. This is Beth Green on Granny Rocks Our World, and I'm going to be talking today about reading the wind in life, what it means, and how to do it. So if you're intrigued, why don't you hang around and join us for our show? In the meantime, here is sweet baby James.
Yes, I would just like to introduce you to Beth. She shares her uncommon wisdom, uncommon perspective to help us better cope with the realities of our life. So let's see what she has in mind tonight.
And why don't you say a little bit about Grow?
Oh, yes. Well, GROW stands for Granny Rocks Our World. And this is a Granny sharing messages that'll help rock us out of stuck patterns and into better ways of being and well-being. And so she brings whatever resources she's guided to bring to help us with that.
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, I'd like to say hello to the people who have already said hi to us. Hi, Helen, and hi, Nava from Detroit, and hello, Erica. So
Yes,
we
hello.
know we have others watching, but we've already got, and hello, Simone. Oh, how delightful. Thank you so much for saying hello as well as for watching. So, there's more. Hi, Tracy from Phoenix. I love it. Okay. So I want to tell you something about this topic, reading the wind in life, what it means and how to do it. About 5 minutes ago, that phrase came into my mind. I was planning on talking about something entirely different. I mean, entirely different. So I go into, where you go before you go and do something where you don't want to have to get up. So I was in there, and all of a sudden I heard reading the wind. Okay, my topic tonight is reading the wind. Well, hey, no problem. I can talk about that. What is it? Okay, so then in the last couple of minutes, I've been thinking, what is it? Hey, we're reading. I love this topic, and I want to tell you why. Hello, Bob and Carol. Yes, okay.
They send their love.
Ooh, I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I immediately had to Google the phrase, reading the wind. And guess what? People who shoot guns use that expression, reading the wind. It's about, I don't know, I didn't have time to look at it, but I guess it's like when you're going to shoot something out in the air, you have to read the wind. If the wind is blowing this way and you go that way, it's like golf, right?
It's like the same in golf.
Right.
Very same.
Do you use that expression in golf, reading the wind?
Yeah, you got to read the wind. Yeah.
Oh my God. So anyway, there it is. I'm a sports person now. We did not know this. We did not know that. So in other words, you can't just go bullheadedly to do what you want to do. If you're not reading the wind, then you have no idea where you're going. Now, that could be an invitation for us to become very corrupt. Oh, I'm reading the wind. I know, people like sugar. I think I'm going to make a killing in sugar. Right? I'm going to put out a new candy called Sweeter Than Pie. And, okay. All right, you can read the wind, and maybe you're going to do that. But I'm talking about reading the wind for the good, for yourself and for the planet, right? Because that's the kind of guy I am. Okay, so I want to talk about this a little bit. So, hello, Amy. Thank you always for caring so much to take the time to share your wisdom with us. Well, you have to hope that this is wisdom tonight. And I think it's going to be. I'm really kind of excited about this topic. So there's something else that came to me many years ago, because, I'm an intuitive and these things just come to me, right? When I come on here, I just open myself up and whatever comes to me, I blurt out. So what it was that people will be led in the direction where they want to go. So if you have a great leader like Martin Luther King or, someone else who's really a great leader, they are only great leaders because people followed them. I mean, somebody could have been saying the same thing, but either didn't have the charisma or the time was not ripe for them to say what they had to say. You could be sitting on your deserted island, spouting the most brilliant poetry and nobody ever hears it, right? Because you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But so that's a reality of reading the wind. Hola, Benton's in the house. Wonderful. So glad to have you, both of you, Bentons. Or If there are more Bentons, I'm glad to have you too. So if people are going to be led where they already want to go, that means that they're going to buy into what you're saying. Now, let's give an example that we've all seen within the last few years of somebody who knew how to read the wind. Donald Trump, right? He knew how to read the wind. He knew the way the wind was blowing. Nobody else was listening to that wind. Everybody else was thinking differently, or mostly. I'm not saying everybody. Of course, that's total exaggeration, but that's my way of talking. And because I'm from New York, it's just normal for me to talk in hyperbole. So anyway, he knew how to read the wind. He knew what was going to move people because he already picked it up in the ethers. So, well, we can read the wind too, but we can do it for positive, for the good, for caring. It's like not to exploit people, but in order to feel what they're feeling, know what they're needing, and then actually try to give leadership. Now, leadership is not the same thing as us following people, what they want. Okay, let's say the crowd wants blood. Oh, kill him, you know, a boxing match, right? Kill him, they want blood. Or so you say, well, I'm reading the wind. This crowd wants blood. I'm going to kill this guy, right? Nah, that's not what we're talking about, is it? No. See, that's not leadership. Leadership would be the crowd wants blood, and you turn around and you look at the crowd and say, I know that you want blood, but as it happens, I think that it would be better for us to just call this match without me punching, because this guy is sick. We got to stop this match. Well, so hello, Kelly. Hey, from Winds of Change Farm.
Oh my
God, Kelly, whoever you are, I love that. Winds of Change. Yes, over the times they are changing. So you're really right with it. I love that.
The answer is blowing in the wind, definitely.
Right, it sure is. So, okay. So the thing is, you can get it. We still have the responsibility of exercising responsible leadership to help people. We may see that the wind is blowing this way, but we need to go and we need to intervene because it is going that way. You know, we're in the middle of a lynching and we have to say, no. You know, I don't believe in this. Yes, we may get killed in the process, but okay. So now how do we read the wind? Now that we've kind of got an idea, everybody has a little bit of an idea what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Well, when we want to go make change, Winds of Change Farm, we have to get some sense of how to approach people and where to start. We don't pander to people's most negative emotions, but we do have to get what they're saying and feel what they're feeling in order to be able to connect to that wind so that we can figure out how to work with it. You know, I think people who sail they know about this. The wind is blowing, right? And they're blowing this way, but you want to go that way. They know how to maneuver those sails, don't they?
Yep.
So that they're taking advantage of the wind, but they're not necessarily going where the wind is blowing them. So reading the wind is just the beginning. And then being able to interact with that wind in order to move forward in the direction that's positive. That's really the trick, isn't it? So, but I want to start with, how do we read the wind? Because how to do the other is like, ooh, that's another topic for another night. I mean, that's what Wednesdays and Fridays are for. We're only here for 15 minutes. The first thing you have to know to read the wind is that you have to shut up. If you're busy talking, thinking a mile a minute, you will not even hear the wind or feel the wind or sense the wind, because your mind and your opinions, and I should say our, because I am just as guilty as anyone else, right? Our opinions and our minds and our yabber are so loud that we can't feel anything. We can't feel, oh, the wind is blowing like that. It's because I want to believe something. I just want to believe it. I don't care if it's true or not. I just want to believe it because that's going to make me feel good, right? I want to believe I'm going to be I'm going to start this business and it's going to be successful. Now, it doesn't make any difference. I had a situation like this with a former husband, not the sweet baby Jane. And, you know, we went over. I knew he really wanted to do this trucking business. We went over it. We went over all the numbers. I mean, I devoted myself to the numbers and every single thing. I did all this research and I presented it to him. And I said, this is never going to work. We are going to be bankrupt in like 3 months. And, he was so driven by that need, that egoic need to prove himself, please do not misunderstand that I'm not being critical of him. This is just something that happened to me, and it's such a clear example because I can so understand that and I have compassion for it. But what happened was that we went down fast. And then he was suffering the guilt of not being willing to read the wind. It was in the middle of the gas crisis, for God's sakes. The price of gasoline was skyrocketing. I mean, among other things, and we were going to buy a truck and start a trucking business. Well, it didn't take that much to read the wind in that case. I mean, sometimes you actually just have to use some common sense. But there is also something that is ineffable. Don't you love that word, even if you don't know what it means? It just has that ineffable feeling about it. It's like, it's ineffable. You can't pin it down. It's just there. It's like, ooh. So it's like the smell of coffee in the morning. Not that we ever have coffee. We have no caffeine in our house. But, it's ineffable, that smell of coffee. So the first thing you have to do is be very quiet. And you have to drop all your opinions. And then you even have to let go of your desires for things to be a certain way. Yikes! I hate that. Don't you? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't pursue that dream, whatever it is, if it's a good thing and it's positive and it's for the highest good of all. But I'm saying that you can't do it without reading the wind. If the wind is coming straight at you, for example, let's say you're teaching something that nobody likes to hear. That would be me for the last, ever since I started being a spiritual teacher, which really started in 1978. I mean, people have not liked my message. By the way, they're liking it now. See, I could never read the wind. But anyway, but no, there's another point. Then there is the long-term reading of the wind and the short-term. Mm-hmm. In the short term, it was very clear that my message, I mean, I was in the age of manifestation and money, and everything was about money and Terry Cole Whitaker and, all that positive thing and all that stuff. I think you shall make a, anyway, whatever it was, it wasn't me. And it was all about the I, and I am going to do this and I'm going to do that. It was all ego time. It was the ego time of spirituality. And I am going to manifest this because I am God and I know, and that was going on and on and on. And I was saying the opposite. I was saying, we're really nothing. We're part of the whole, we're aspects of God's consciousness, whatever it is. Very unpopular. So guess what? I was very unpopular. And I really was very unpopular. I mean, those people who know me from back then know the history of how unpopular I've been. But, oddly enough, the world is turning around and I have a whole body of work. I have 6 books, guys, 4 CDs of music, and I'm coming up on another one. All kinds of videos on YouTube, a YouTube channel to die for, Granny Rocks TV. On YouTube with all kinds of videos on all kinds of subjects, deep and shallow. I don't really mean shallow, but like some are more political or social. It's all there. I mean, I have a body of work. And why? Because I was guided by the future and not by the immediate wind, right? Mm-hmm. So when we are reading the wind, we have to be willing to ask ourselves, am I looking for the win right now? Or am I looking to make a contribution for the future? One thing that you will know, and oh my God, we're almost out of time, and I just got started on this topic. One thing that I want you to know, if you are looking at everything from the perspective of my experience in the past, is this, and therefore I know that the wind is blowing that way, you are already going down because you are defeating yourself. You're not reading the wind, you're reading your anxiety, you're reading your opinions, You're reading your experience. Now, I'm not saying you throw out experience like I did with my ex. And I said, look at this, but I am saying that if this is the basis, like, oh, I know that guy, he's not really interested in me because no man ever has been. Well, I finally got one. It took 60 some odd years, right? And if I had just been going my experience, I would have given up the first day. It's like, nobody wants me, right? So do not listen to your opinions. Do not base your strategy on your experience. Be informed by your experience, but be guided by the future. So the first tip I've given you is don't be guided by the past, be informed by it, be guided by the future. Be still. Make a commitment to do the right thing. Ask yourself if you're willing to go in for the long haul.
For the highest good of all.
For the highest good of all.
Including yourself.
I'll bring you more on this topic soon. In the meantime, I want to tell you that Grow is on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And check out our YouTube channel, Granny Rocks TV. And check out theinnerrevolution.org, which is our community. Oh, Simone says, thank you, love this. Erica says, yes. And we are going to be trying to do some new things on the show, and we're going to see if our studio gets set up by Wednesday or not, or one more time I will fail, which would not be the first time. But I'm reading the wind, and the wind tells me that we are going forward fast to revolutionizing consciousness, not giving into our egos. And your support is crucial. Believe me. Like this show, share it, send in your comments. I will answer them even after the show if Facebook shows them to me. Sometimes I don't see everything on Facebook. Keep that love coming between us. And check out my latest music on Granny Rocks TV. You go down to Solo Piano Plus, and I have some great new music that I've just put out. Oh, Christine said, thanks goodness. I think she means thank goodness that I'm reading the wind and there's going to be a change in consciousness. And she said she's already loved it and shared it. Thank you. Mwah, 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 mwah. You're so right. It's moving fast. I love that. Thank you, Christine. Now I'm going to go. See you again soon.
Yeah, see you next time.